Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Super Heavy Samurai deck profile. So this is actually not mine. Huge shout out to my brother John for letting me use his deck. He really liked machines, and before this he was running gadgets, and I was like, all right, man, we can't have you playing gadgets out here. So for Christmas I got him the Super Heavy Samurai deck core, and he really just got more cards from pre opponent. Made a lot of fun to play for him. I really don't enjoy playing this deck because it is a pain. For those of you who don't know what the Super Heavy Samurais do, it's a deck full of monsters. Like, this is all monsters. They don't play spells and traps because they have effect to where if you don't have any spells and traps in your graveyard, they were running Sekka's Light until that got smacked in the face to 1, and now it's, I don't even run it, honestly. He doesn't run it either. There's not really a point, I don't think. But Super Heavy Samurais are really unique. It's a lot of fun. They attack from defense position, do a bunch of stuff. They have some good boss monsters. Without further ado, guys, let's get right on into this one. I'm excited about this one. It's pretty unique. To start off with, we're playing two Super Heavy Samurai Big Benkei. So I'm going to be so there's no spells and traps and a ton of monsters. I'm going to be separating this in the regular monsters, the unions, and the tuners. So I'm going to be separating it into those categories, so we don't have just 40 cards out right here because I don't think my camera can handle that. So Big Benkei is really, really cool. When this card is normal special summon, you can change its battle position. And then Super Heavy Samurai monsters you control can attack while in face-up defense position. And if they do, their defense you apply their defense for damage calculation. So basically, this dude has 3,500 attack, and that's really cool because he allows your Super Heavy Samurais to go in defensive position and to swing. And that is so cool because stuff like Mirror Force, they are not in attack position, so that gets by a lot. And it's really cool because he allows them to be more dangerous on the field. I think you should play this at 2 personally. 3, you could get it at 3. It might be a little bit briggy, but from what I've seen so far, 2 seems to be a really optimal number. We're playing 2 Super Heavy Samurai Thief. I really hate this card. This card is such a pain, but it's really, really good. So what this one does is, if you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, so you see we're already getting to that now, you can special summon this card from your hand. After this card was special summoned this way, you cannot special summon monsters the rest of this turn except Super Heavy Samurai monsters, which is not a big deal. It's all we play in the deck. You can tribute this card, then activate one of these effects. You can destroy one card in your opponent's spell and trap card zone, then you can set the destroyed spell and trap card on your side of the field. Now that's really, if your opponent has something that's going to float or do something in the graveyard where, a lot of spells and traps, they can banish themselves from the graveyard and do something, you can take this card from them so they're not even able, they don't even have the option to use that resource, and that's really cool. He uses it against me all the time. I hate it. Or you can destroy one card in your opponent's pendulum zone, and then you can place the destroyed card in your pendulum zone. So same thing with pendulums. If you're playing Endymions, screw Endymions, I hate pendulums. You could use this card for that as well. So moving on, we're playing an equally annoying card, 3 Flutists. Now, my brother and I were actually talking about this, I think last night. I've seen people play Flutists at 1, and I don't really understand that. This is a really, really good card. This card just provides so much protection for the deck. And let me explain. So you can tribute this card and special summon a Super Heavy Samurai monster from your hand, and doesn't matter the level. So you can get a Big Benkei immediately with Flutist, and that's really cool. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Super Heavy Samurai monster you control, banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and destroy that card. And you can only use each effect of Super Heavy Samurai Flutist per turn, but being able to tribute this card to get out your monster, and then it has a graveyard effect that protects and negates and destroys your opponent's card, that is so crazy. Maybe playing this at 2, that's fine, but I don't get playing it at 1. This is such a good card. I really recommend you playing this at 3 because it can save you so many. If your opponent looks and sees you have 3 Flutists in the graveyard, well, crap, man, good grief. So next up, we're playing 3 Super Heavy Samurai Scales. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you control no monsters, you special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one level 4 or lower Super Heavy Samurai monster in your graveyard, except another copy of this card and special summon in defense position. You only use this effect of Super Heavy Samurai Scales once per turn. So that's really good, just being able to get bodies back out on the field. And do keep in mind that it has to be level 4 or lower. That's important to remember, but this is a really, really great card. We're playing 2 Super Heavy Samurai Magnet. This really locks out of your opponent for attacks. Because when this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 lower Super Heavy Samurai from your hand, which is great. Then change this card to defense position, and monsters your opponent controls cannot attack any except this one. So if you get 2 of these out, like if you have 2 of these in your hand, you really will lock out your opponent for attacks. Like, it is really, really cool. Well, not for your opponent, but for you. Playing 2 Super Heavy Samurai Swordsmen. This one's really cool. When this card is normal special summon, you can change it to change the battle position. And then if Super Heavy Samurai monster you control battles an opponent's monster after damage calculation, your opponent's attack and defense becomes 0. You might have heard me in my earlier videos like call things a neuterer. That's where I got that from. My brother coined the phrase neuterer because it neuters your opponent's monsters to 0 if they attack it. Like, I really, really hate this card, but it's so good. Playing 1 Blue Brawler. Now, if you wanted to bump Blue Brawler up, you could. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can't really see right there. You can change its battle position, and it can't be destroyed by battle. So that's really, really good. It can't be destroyed by battle. It has 2,000 defense, so basically it has 2,000 attack if Big K is out in the field, and that's really cool as well. So for the last 2 normal monsters, I guess we're calling them, 2 Super Heavy Samurai Helper. This card is cool. During damage calculation, if your defense position monster battles an opponent's monster while you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, which all those conditions will be met, quick effect. You can discard this card, then target 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster you control other than the battling monster. Your opponent, your battling monster gains a defense equal to that monster's defense during that damage calculation only. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster in your graveyard special summon. This card is really good. Just being able to boost up, because all these guys have big defense, like they really all do for the most part. So it's a really big attack boost, and then a really great getting a body out from the graveyard. Graveyard effect, being able to banish this, if I could talk. So that's it for that set of monsters. Let's move on into the next one. This one, I really hate this one. Like, man, he's beat me so many times with this card. So 3 Super Heavy Samurai Battle Ball. This card, I hate this card. It is so crazy. What this card does is it really can cheat out your Steam Train King from the extra deck. If all monsters you control Super Heavy Samurai monsters, which they will be, and you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, which you won't, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls that has a level. So can't be Lynx, but that's shouldn't be too much of a big deal for the most part. That has a level, and then send both it and this card from the field to the graveyard. Then special summon from your extra deck 1 Super Heavy Samurai Synchro monster whose level equals to the total original levels of those 2 monsters in the graveyard. So, like, this card, because Steam Train King, you have to use a Super Heavy Samurai tuner plus 2 non-tuner Super Heavy Samurai monsters, which is that's a lot, but Battle Ball can cheat him out and use your opponent's monsters as resources, and that's really crazy. You can only use this effect of Super Heavy Samurai Battle Ball once per turn. This card is great. Like, it is so good. Like, especially if your opponent is getting their stuff out on the field, and then they get all their combo out, and then you hit them with the Battle Ball, and then get your big out on the field. Man, that is such a good card. We're playing 2 Super Heavy Samurai Trumpeteer. Trumpeteers are really great. If you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. After this card was special summoned this way, you cannot special summon monster versus turn except Super Heavy Samurai monsters. Not a big deal. That's totally fine. If this card is tributed for the tribute summon of a Super Heavy Samurai monster and sent to the graveyard, and you have no spells or traps in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So it's really cool just being able to get him back out on the field again. Here we go again, hiccuping. So that's really cool. So then 1 drum. I just think you really only need 1 drum. If this card on the field is destroyed and sent in the graveyard, you can target 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster in your graveyard, except another copy of this card and special summon it. And you can only use the effect of Super Heavy Samurai drum once per turn. So he's just neat, just being able to get another body out in the field. But that's it for the tuners. Let's move on into the equip guys. We play quite a few of them. For the first 3, we're playing 3 Soul Peacemaker. Soul Peacemaker is really crazy. You can target 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or field to that target. While this card is equipped to a monster, by this effect, monsters your opponent controls cannot attack monsters you control except the equipped monster. You can tribute a monster you control equipped with this card. By this card's effect, special summon 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster from your deck. And you can only use each effect once per turn. You lose this effect of Super Heavy Samurai Soul Peacemaker once per turn. So that's really, really cool. Just being able to lock your opponent out of attack, especially if you equip this as something big, your opponent's not going to want to attack that. And then being able to tribute it to get something bigger from the deck or get something better or something for that particular situation. That's really cool as well. Next up, we're playing 3 Gauntlet. Gauntlet's neat. What this one does is you can target one superhero center. If you equip it to a monster on your side of the field, it gains 400 defense during either player's damage step. One defense position, super heavy samurai monster you control battles an opponent's monster, and you have no spells or traps in your graveyard. You can send this card from hand to the graveyard. I'm laughing because this is crazy. Your battling monster's defense becomes double its original defense at the end of this turn. Like, good lord, he's beat me so many times with this too. Especially if you use it with Big K, because he's already at 3,500. Like, and then if you use it with freaking Steam Train King, look at that defense, boy. That is good lord. That's game. Like, that is a real OTK maker. This deck can OTK pretty quickly, honestly. So Gauntlet is really cool. I do recommend you play it at 3. You could bump it down to 2 if you wanted to. So next we're playing 2 Soul Piercer if you want to swap one. Like, I've seen a lot of people play this at 3 as well. It's totally fine. If you basically the equip monster, if it attacks a defense position monster, it does piercing damage. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one super heavy samurai monster from your deck to your hand. A really good floating effect, because if it's sent for anything, you get to add a resource from your deck to your hand. That's cool. I like glare. Sorry about that. 2 Soul Horns. Soul Horns is really cool. The equipped monster can make a second attack during each battle phase. While this card is equipped to a monster by this card's effect, you can special summon this card. So, just like with all the stuff, if you equip all the stuff, man, and you use Gauntlet and then use Soul Horns, like, that's crazy. Like, that's just OTK out the wazoo. So, for the next one, there's 2 Suit. Now, Soulfire Suit is cool. Now, you don't have to play this one if you want. I've seen a lot of people not play it, but it's cool. It's really good. It's good protection. Gotten by a lot of things with this one. You can target one super heavy samurai monster you control. Equip this monster from your hand or side of the field to that target. Its level becomes 5, but the really cool effect is this. During either player's turn, you can discard this card, then target one defense position super heavy samurai monster you control. It loses 800 defense, but it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. So it's really like a Forbidden Lance type of card. It loses 800 defense, but it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects that's turn. And that's really good protection. That on top of Flutus, like, you're good for the most part from the protection. I mean, from like effects and stuff. So for the last few, this is cool. I think this is kind of a cool combo. So playing 3 of the Star Destroying Kaiju, this would be a 3rd one, but I don't know where my 3rd one is, so we're just doing that right now. Don't worry about that. But 3 of the Machine Kaiju, just because it goes really well in this deck, and then 1 Game of Seal. And let me explain this, because it's really cool, because if your opponent has out a problematic monster, of course Kaiju him, but then you can Kaiju and then immediately use Battle Ball, and then you have a setup to go in your Steam Train King, because Battle Ball is 2, and this is 10, and that's just perfect. That goes perfectly into Steam Train King. So you get rid of your opponent's monster using Kaiju, use Battle Ball, and then go into your big boy, and that's great. Like, that's really great. Your opponent's gonna be mad, and it's just gonna be a great day. So that's it for the deck. That's it for all of the monsters. Let's move to the extra deck. Now, you don't have to play that Kaiju engine if you don't want to. That's totally fine as well. If you want to run some more of the Eclipse or something like that, that's fine. Do what you want to do, but I think that's kind of a cool combo, honestly. So we're playing 2 Steam Train King. This card is really ridiculous. So 2,000 attack, 4,800 defense. So basically it has 4,800 attack. This card can attack while in face-up defense position, of course, and if it does, applies defense for damage calculation. Once per turn, you can discard up to 2 cards, then target that many cards your opponent controls, destroy them. That's crazy. Once per turn, you can banish all spells and traps from the graveyards. Okay, you're not going to have any, but your opponent's going to. You can banish all of them from their graveyard. And if you do, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card banished. So, like, this card really makes sure that there's no spells and traps in the graveyard. Nothing, no graveyard effects. No floating effects in the graveyard for spells and traps. That is really, really cool. This card is crazy. We're playing 2 Warlords Susanoo. I think it's Susanoo. This one's good. This, of course, can attack while it's in defense position. Has 3,800 defense or attack, whatever you want to call it. Once per turn during either player's turn. If you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you can target one spell trap card in your opponent's graveyard and set it to your side of the field, and then banish it when it leaves the field. So that's really great. Like, it's kind of like Thief, except it doesn't, destroy while pop on the field. You just get to take something straight out of your opponent's graveyard and then get rid of it from their graveyard. And then when it's gone, you banish it, making sure they never get it again. You know, for the most part. Super Heavy Samurai Beast Cube. I don't know how to say this one. This guy. You don't really go into him too much, but what he does is he can attack defense position, of course. If you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, this card gains 900 defense for each special summon monster your opponent controls. So he can get up pretty fast for the most part. He will get big, but you're probably going to be looking for to go into your other plays. One Ninja Sarutobi. You won't go into this one a ton, but it's good to have the option. Attack from the defense position, of course. Once per turn to any player's turn, if you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you can target one spell trap card on the field, destroy it, and then if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So a little, you know, a spot removal with some burning. That's cool. One Stealth Ninja. You can have this card's ritual defense to the end of this turn. If you do, this card can attack your opponent directly this turn with defense position, so you'll swing for 14. Once per turn during the next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by a card effect in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. So he can attack directly for some damage, and you can bring him back easily, so that's really cool. For the last two of the Super Heavy Samurais, we're playing 2 Ogre. I don't know how to say that name. We're playing 2 Ogre. So he has 2,500 defense attack. When this card is synchro summoned while you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you can store all spells and traps your opponent controls. So he's really cool. This deck does not like spells and traps. Like, you're trying to make sure your opponent doesn't have any resources as well as too. So he's just like an on-summon, a straight-up Harpy's Feather Duster. I'm playing 1 Avramax just for the option of alternative boss, just in case you want to go into him. 1 Broil Sword for OTK because we do get bodies on the field pretty easily. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Almirage. I like Almirage because he can add even more protection for your big boss guys. So I think this one's really good in this deck. And then 1 Exciton Knight, just in case you want to go into him. So that's it for the deck, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this one. Super Heavy Samurais are budget as heck. This is a really budget deck. And they're just a ton of fun. They're really unique. Just being able to attack from this defense position and like just do so much damage to your opponent. Being able to use your opponent's resources to go into the synchro plays. Being able to get this guy out in the field is just a ton of fun. Like, I really recommend you guys picking up this deck. It's super cheap. It's super fun. And your opponent's going to be like, what the heck is this? But yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Have you ever played against Super Heavy Samurais? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. What did you think about Sega's Light getting smacked to 1? It's definitely crazy. But while you're here, you might as well subscribe. I'd definitely appreciate it. Come up with more videos every single week. While you're here, you might as well hit the notification bell and become a part of the notification team. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.